If you have kidney issues, lean in, because what you're about to hear could change the way you eat for the rest of your life. And I don't say that to scare you. I say it because so many good people do everything they're told. Cut the sugar, watch the salt, try to eat clean, and then they open their next lab report and feel that familiar drop in the stomach when the numbers aren't improving. That cycle is exhausting. It can feel confusing and unfair. And after a while, it doesn't just mess with your food choices, it messes with your hope. So let me say this clearly. It's not your fault. Most people were never taught the piece that matters most when kidneys are struggling, especially when it comes to protein. Because protein is essential. As we get older, we need it to maintain muscle, protect our strength, heal after illness, and keep the immune system working. Protein is not the enemy. But here's the truth most people never hear. Not all protein is safe when your kidneys are already under stress. Some proteins quietly overload your kidneys day after day so slowly you don't notice at first, until the signs begin to show up. Swelling in your ankles or hands, fatigue that doesn't match your effort, muscle cramps that wake you up at night, and that sinking feeling when your labs just won't cooperate. That's what we're going to fix today. This video is not about eliminating protein. It's about choosing smarter protein. Protein that gives your body what it needs without forcing your kidneys to carry a burden they can't handle. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 protein choices that tend to be gentler and more kidney smart. 6 common protein sources that can quietly make kidney disease harder to manage. A few simple cooking rules to protect you from hidden sodium and additives. And 1 bonus habit you can start tomorrow morning, something realistic and safe for older adults. And before we begin, I want to hear from you. In the comments, what protein do you eat most often? Chicken, eggs, beans, fish, protein shakes, or something else? No judgment. I just want to know what you're working with, because one small change you learn today might be the one that makes your whole routine feel more manageable. Now let's start with something simple, because for kidney patients, the best option is often the one you can actually stick with. For many people, that everyday protein is egg whites. Not whole eggs, just egg whites. When you separate the white from the yolk, you get a clean, efficient protein source with far less phosphorus than the whole egg. And that matters, because many people with kidney disease are trying to reduce phosphorus load without losing protein completely. Egg whites are also absorbed efficiently. In simple terms, your body uses them well, so there's often less leftover waste for your kidneys to filter. That's a big deal when your kidney function is already reduced. Let me make this feel real. Maria is 62. She's stage 3 chronic kidney disease, and she's stressed. Food feels like a minefield. Every meal feels like it might hurt her. She's tired of guessing. So Maria makes one swap. She replaces her meat-heavy breakfast with 3 or 4 egg whites boiled or lightly scrambled with minimal oil, no salty seasoning blends, no processed meat on the side. Within a few weeks, something changes. She feels steadier. Her energy is more consistent. And she says something that matters emotionally. For the first time in a long time, breakfast doesn't scare me. And that's not a small thing. Because when people feel safe with food, they eat more consistently. They stress less. They make fewer desperate choices. They follow through. But egg whites do have rules. Always cook them. Raw egg whites can interfere with biotin absorption over time. And if you buy liquid egg whites, check the label, because some products contain added sodium or preservatives. And try not to fry them in heavy oil, because heavy oil and salt can undo the benefit. Now, as helpful as egg whites can be, many people still want variety. They don't want to feel like kidney health means bland, boring food forever. And this is where one of the most misunderstood foods in America can become surprisingly helpful. Tofu. Tofu is quiet. It doesn't scream flavor. It doesn't look exciting. And I think that's why people overlook it. But inside that simple block is a combination of qualities that can be very kidney-friendly when prepared the right way. Tofu is a plant-based protein. Compared to many animal proteins, it often brings a gentler phosphorus burden. And that matters because in kidney disease, phosphorus can build up in the blood and create problems over time, affecting bone strength and blood vessel health. Tofu is also often described as less acid-forming than many meats. When kidneys are weakened, managing acid load matters because your kidneys help regulate balance in the body. If your meals constantly push your body toward more acid, your kidneys have to work harder just to keep things stable. And tofu contains natural plant compounds that may support a calmer inflammation response. Inflammation is one of the silent drivers of kidney decline, especially as we age. But I need to give you one warning, because this is where people sabotage tofu without realizing it. If you soak tofu in salty marinades, if you pour on soy sauce, if you use packaged sauces loaded with sodium, tofu stops being gentle. So, tofu follows a simple rule. Keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it gentle. Soft tofu can work in soups or scrambles. Firm tofu can be baked or lightly grilled. And you can season it with herbs, garlic powder, onion powder, lemon, vinegar, and a little pepper, without turning it into a salt trap. Here's Mark's story. Mark is 58. Stage 4 chronic kidney disease. He's skeptical. He thinks tofu is health food that won't satisfy him. But he tries something small. He swaps a few red meat meals each week for tofu-based meals. Simple, low sodium, vegetables included. And over time, he notices something surprising. His body feels calmer after eating. Less heaviness, less food hangover, less inflammation. His numbers look steadier, and he feels more stable. And that's the goal. A body that feels supported, not overloaded. Now at this point, some people will say, okay, egg whites and tofu sound fine, but I still want real animal protein. I want something that feels satisfying. I don't want to feel weak. And I hear you. You don't have to swear off animal protein entirely to be kidney smart, but you do have to choose wisely. That brings us to a protein that many seniors find easier to digest, easier to chew, and lighter in the body than red meat. Tilapia. Tilapia is a mild white fish. It's soft. It's easy to chew. It's easy to digest. And those details matter, especially if you're older and you want meals that feel comfortable, not exhausting. Tilapia gives you high-quality protein, enough to support muscle and strength without some of the heavy baggage that comes with red meat. Many people with kidney issues notice that red meat leaves them feeling heavy, sluggish, and inflamed. Their body feels thicker, for lack of a better word. A lean fish like tilapia can satisfy you without weighing you down. And it provides nutrients like vitamin B12 and selenium, which support normal metabolism and antioxidant protection. Important because kidney disease and aging often go hand in hand with higher inflammation. Let me tell you about George. George is 67. He's always tired. He thinks, I need protein to feel strong. So he leans on red meat more than he realizes. Steak, burgers, meat-heavy dinners. It feels normal. It feels like the American way. But his labs aren't happy, and he doesn't feel good in his body either. So George makes a change. He swaps some red meat meals for tilapia, simple tilapia, steamed or baked, with lemon, pepper, and herbs. No deep frying. No heavy bottled sauces. After a few weeks, George says something that surprises him. I didn't realize how heavy my food was making me feel. Sometimes your body tells the truth before your labs do. Now, the way you cook fish matters. If you deep fry it, if you drown it in bottled sauces, you can turn a gentle protein into a sodium bomb. So keep it gentle. Steam it. Bake it. Lightly grill it. Add lemon and herbs. Skip heavy sauces. And in terms of servings, Many people do well with modest portions, something like 1 or 2 fish meals per week depending on your stage of kidney disease and what your clinician or renal dietitian recommends. The goal is never to overload. The goal is consistency. Now we've covered egg whites, tofu, and tilapia, 3 proteins that can work beautifully for many people. But we still need a 4th option that helps, especially when you're tired, losing weight unintentionally, or struggling to get enough nutrition without stressing your kidneys. This one looks small, but it can make a big difference. Quinoa. Quinoa doesn't look like much. It's not flashy. It doesn't scream superfood. It's just little seeds that cook up soft and mild. But quinoa has one rare quality that matters a lot for seniors. It's a complete protein. That means it contains all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks your body needs to maintain muscle, repair tissue, and stay resilient. Most plant proteins don't have all 9 in the right balance. Quinoa does. And as we age, we're more vulnerable to muscle loss and weakness, especially if we've been eating less, feeling too tired to cook, or losing weight without trying. Muscle isn't just about strength. Muscle supports balance, independence, and recovery. So yes, protein matters. But when kidneys are weakened, the goal is not just more protein. The goal is protein your body can use efficiently, without leaving behind a heavy load of waste that your kidneys have to filter. Quinoa offers a modest amount of high-quality protein, and it brings another quiet benefit that helps your kidneys indirectly: fiber. Most people don't realize how important this is. When your digestion is working well, your gut can help manage certain waste products, so your kidneys don't have to carry the whole burden alone. Fiber supports regularity, gut health, and smoother waste handling. In simple terms, fiber can help take pressure off your system over time. Here's Sandra's story. Sandra is 70, stage 4 chronic kidney disease. She's doing her best, but she keeps running into the same issue. Certain grains leave her bloated and uncomfortable. Her labs bounce around. She feels like her body rejects everything she tries. Her dietitian suggests something simple. Try quinoa as a gentler base for meals. Keep portions modest. Keep it simple. No salty flavor packets. No heavy toppings. Within a few weeks, Sandra notices she's less bloated. Her energy is steadier. And perhaps most importantly, she doesn't feel afraid of food anymore. Was it magic? No. It was just a better choice. Now, to make quinoa work, preparation matters. Quinoa has a natural coating called saponin, and if you don't rinse it off, it can irritate digestion for some people. So rinse it thoroughly under cold water. Swirl it. Drain it. Then cook it. And keep portions reasonable. For many older adults, about half a cup to 1 cup cooked can fit into a kidney-smart plan depending on your needs and what your clinician or renal dietitian advises. And once again, here's the theme that ties all 4 of these foods together. Keep it simple. Keep it clean. Keep it gentle. Because that's how you give your kidneys a break. Now this is the part most people need just as much as the what to eat list. Because if you're eating the wrong proteins regularly, it can feel like you're doing everything right and still losing ground. So let's talk about 6 proteins to avoid, not because you're a bad person for eating them, but because they tend to come with the exact burdens kidney patients are trying to reduce. The first one is beloved in American homes: beef steak. Steak is rich and satisfying. But for kidney patients, steak often brings a triple burden: higher phosphorus, higher saturated fat, and a higher purine load that can raise uric acid. When uric acid rises, you can face gout flares and additional strain on the kidneys. Saturated fat can worsen inflammation and circulation, and high phosphorus is exactly what many kidney patients are trying to manage. James, 72, learned this the hard way. Steak 2 or 3 times a week. He thought it made him strong. Then the labs came back. Rising creatinine, high uric acid, gout pain, When James swapped most steak meals for lighter proteins, egg whites, and fish, his pain eased and his numbers stabilized. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Next is one that surprises people because it looks healthy. Canned black beans. Beans can be nutritious, but canned beans often carry high potassium, high sodium, and sometimes phosphate additives. For kidney patients, potassium can become dangerous when it builds up. Sodium can worsen swelling and blood pressure. Teresa, 66, loved her daily canned bean bowl. Her potassium kept climbing, and she didn't understand why. When she switched to dried beans that were soaked and portion controlled, and when she reduced the overall load, her potassium became more stable. Here's the lesson. Beans aren't automatically the enemy, but the form and portion matter. If you do use canned beans, choose no salt added, rinse thoroughly, and keep portions small. Now let's talk about a very common health habit that can backfire. Whey protein isolate. Protein powders are concentrated, they hit fast, and that concentrated load can create more nitrogen waste for your kidneys to filter. Some powders also contain phosphorus that isn't obvious. Dan, 48, used whey shakes daily. He thought he was helping his body, but his creatinine kept creeping up, and he felt more fatigued. When Dan replaced powders with whole food proteins, egg whites, tofu, quinoa, his routine became gentler. And this is the question that changes everything for kidney disease. It's not, how do I get the most protein possible? It's how do I get the right protein with the least strain? Next is a big one. Hot dogs and processed meats. These are a triple threat: sodium, phosphate additives, and preservatives. High sodium drives fluid retention and raises blood pressure, two major kidney stressors. Phosphate additives can increase phosphorus burden quickly, and preservatives can fuel inflammation. Michael, 71, had hot dogs as a quick lunch habit. Over time, swelling increased, blood pressure worsened, and kidney function declined. When he cut them out, he felt less puffy and more stable. A simple rule: if it's ultra-processed and built for shelf life, your kidneys often pay the price. Next is what I call the plant-based trap. Red lentils. Red lentils are praised as healthy, and for many people they are. But for kidney patients, they can bring a heavy potassium and phosphorus load, especially in large servings or later CKD stages. Leo, 59, vegan, ate red lentils almost daily. His potassium kept spiking, which can be frightening. Reducing lentils and switching toward lower burden options helped him feel steadier. The lesson: plant-based doesn't automatically mean kidney safe. With CKD, the numbers matter. And finally, turkey bacon. It sounds lighter than regular bacon, but it's still processed. It's still often high in sodium and additives, and it's easy to eat too much without realizing. If breakfast is your weak spot, try swapping turkey bacon for egg whites, tofu scramble, or a simpler protein without that processed load. Now, I want to pause and give you the most important hidden truth of the entire video. Even a kidney-smart protein can become kidney-unfriendly if you cook it the wrong way. So here are the cooking rules in plain English. Choose gentle cooking methods: steaming, baking, grilling, boiling. These methods keep food clean. Be careful with sauces, seasoning packets, marinades, and bottled dressings because that's where sodium hides. And keep portions reasonable. Your kidneys don't just count protein. They count everything that comes with it: sodium, phosphorus, potassium, additives, and the waste products that follow. Simple, clean, gentle. Now we're going to end with something that isn't about food at all, because kidney health isn't just on your plate. It's in your daily rhythm. And this is especially important for older Americans who may not feel safe doing intense workouts. The bonus habit is a 20-minute morning walk. Not a power walk, not a marathon, just a steady, gentle walk. Why does it help? Because movement supports circulation. Better circulation supports how your organs function, including the kidneys. Walking can also support blood pressure and blood sugar control, two of the biggest factors that affect kidney health over time. And unlike intense exercise, walking is gentle. It doesn't demand a lot from your body. It encourages your system to regulate. But there's something else. It helps your mindset. So many people with kidney disease feel like their body is betraying them. A morning walk restores a sense of control. It's a small promise you keep to yourself. Tomorrow morning, before the day gets loud, before the phone rings, before the news starts, before stress piles on, step outside if you can. Breathe. Walk. Let your body feel safe again. Now let's bring it all together. Today you learned a truth that can change your direction. Protein is necessary, but the wrong protein can quietly strain your kidneys, while the right protein can support your strength without overwhelming your system. You now have 4 kidney-smart proteins you can build around: quinoa, tilapia, tofu, and egg whites. They're not miracles. They're simply gentler options that many people find easier to live with. You also know the 6 common proteins that tend to make kidney disease harder to manage: steak, canned black beans in large portions, whey protein isolate, hot dogs and processed meats, red lentils in large portions, and turkey bacon. And you have one simple daily habit that can support your whole system: a short morning walk. Because healing isn't always complicated. Often it's small choices, made consistently. One swap, one less processed meal, one walk. Those choices add up. So here's my question for you. This is the part I really want you to answer in the comments. Which protein will you swap this week? Egg whites instead of processed meat? Fish instead of steak? Tofu instead of turkey bacon? A smaller portion of beans prepared differently? Tell me below. Your answer might be the encouragement someone else needs. And if this video helped you, please tap like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I make these videos to help you protect your kidneys in simple, realistic ways, without fear, without confusion, and without feeling like you have to give up everything you love. And please share this with a friend or family member who's dealing with kidney issues. You might give them the one message they needed to hear. One quick reminder: this content is educational and not medical advice. If you have CKD, especially later stages, your best plan is always built with your clinician or renal dietitian because your potassium, phosphorus, and protein needs are personal. But please remember this: you are not powerless. You are not stuck. And you don't have to wait until things get worse. Strength begins with your next bite. I'm rooting for your health.